Hello everyone, Olivia and I are going to talk to you about fatigue today, and it's a very, very common symptom and side effect of people going through cancer treatment. Now, people often think it's just tiredness, but actually fatigue is much, much more than tiredness, and it's not always resolved with just a good sleep at night. And you can often feel more fatigued than you should do, depending on how much activity you're doing. Olivia's just going to talk to you now about the different types of fatigue.
So we get different types of these, like 3 types of fatigue. We get physical fatigue, so that is when you are physically doing something and you feel really exhausted after that activity. And then we get cognitive fatigue. Cognitive fatigue is more when you have so much information and sometimes you just feel so tired. People say they sometimes just have hit a wall and they just can't process any more information. Examples of that is like very busy places or when you've received quite a lot of information. And then we also have emotional fatigue, and this is sometimes something that we don't address all the time. Emotional fatigue is when we are stressed, when we worry about finances, we worry about our health, we worry about day-to-day things that sometimes keeps us a bit awake at night and make sleep sometimes a bit difficult because we worry. And the other big thing is also if we do not have quality sleep at night. So Rebecca's just going to talk us a little bit through as to how do we manage this kind of fatigue.
So as a physiotherapist, our role is to try and help address the physical fatigue, and often people think that the best way to address that is to do nothing. But actually, that can make things worse, and gradually over time you become more and more fatigued as your body just isn't able to use the energy wisely and do anything physical. So being physically active is a really good way to address fatigue, and this is normally in bite-sized, small snippets of exercise, be it a walk or some exercises at home, just to give your body that energy and that need to do exercise, and then coupled and balanced with rest as well. And your physiotherapist should be able to guide you through a program to help manage your fatigue using physical activity. Olivia now is just going to talk a little bit about the cognitive fatigue.
I think some of the things that we just need to kind of understand is that if you look at fatigue in holistically, there's so many different elements that could contribute to your fatigue, and it's quite important to identify what activities are causing your most fatigue and what adjustments you can make during your day to manage your fatigue over the whole day. It's quite important to also have a rest break in the middle of the day. And I think one of the main things about cognitive fatigue is that you need to minimize the input that you get on a day-to-day basis. And when you do feel fatigue, it's very important to take a break. You'll get a boost of energy once you've taken a break. You can then continue with the rest of your activities for the day. Rebecca's just going to give us a few tips or ideas of how we can manage our fatigue for the day.
Thanks, Olivia. So just to finish off, we'll just leave you with a few tips, which are the 3 Ps in managing your fatigue. So the first is planning. So thinking about what you need to do and planning your activities so that you're not spending energy on that process. The second one is prioritise. So decide what you need to do that day and prioritise what's important. So you're not trying to cram everything in to one day, which can leave you exhausted. And the last is pacing. So when you're pacing your activities, what that means is breaking them up into bite-sized pieces and giving yourself a chance to rest in between. And it may be that you do your physical activity and then you do your cognitive activity. So you're balancing between the two, giving your body a chance to rest and then giving your mind a chance to rest as well. So, but there's plenty of resources out there, and please see your physiotherapist or occupational therapist if you need more support with this.